Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and all Bitcoin holders need to be paying attention to this chart right here. And we also have some huge Bitcoin news today. On top of that, in the second half of this video, I will be giving you another update on Ethereum. All of that and more in this video, so definitely stick around all the way to the end of the video so that you're not missing out on any of this important information. And just before we jump into it, you might as well leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these future updates. But anyway, with all of that out of the way, let's get straight to what this video is about. So right here, we're on the Bitcoin US dollar chart on the daily time frame, and of course that was that bump and run reversal pattern that we have been talking about for a while now on the channel. And I mentioned in yesterday's Bitcoin update video that we were seeing just a small bounce from this level right here, coming in at approximately 46,000 give or take. And at the time of filming this video, that small bounce that we saw yesterday has continued on to today. So obviously it's a good sign to see Bitcoin bouncing from this line just here, because a successful retest like this can also act as confirmation of the breakout to the upside. And by the way, for the new viewers out there, a bump and run reversal pattern is a three-stage reversal pattern. We've got the lead-in phase, the bump phase, and the run phase, the reversal back to the upside. And the technical price target for this pattern is the beginning of the lead-in phase, which is coming in towards the all-time high at around 69,000. But keep in mind, this is on the daily time frame. Each one of these candles is an entire day, so don't expect the all-time high to come into play overnight. It's definitely going to take some time. And just before we jump into some other important Bitcoin charts, we have some huge Bitcoin news today, which was, of course, Michael Saylor buying more Bitcoin. Technically, it was MicroStrategy, the company that bought Bitcoin, which is, of course, controlled by Michael Saylor. And this isn't just any old Bitcoin purchase. They bought another 1,914 Bitcoin, which costed them approximately 94 million US dollars in cash, which means as of right now, MicroStrategy currently holds over 124,000 Bitcoin, which they acquired for around 3.75 billion US dollars in total. But right now, that Bitcoin is currently worth close to 6 billion US dollars. So the fact that Michael Saylor is clearly only looking to acquire more and more Bitcoin, this is obviously a bullish sign for Bitcoin's long-term future, not necessarily in the short term, because of course there has been some times where Michael Saylor has bought into Bitcoin and then we can still experience some bearish price action in the shorter term. But Michael Saylor has made it clear that this is a long-term play, as in looking over many years from now. And Michael Saylor is one to keep an eye on because of course he was an early investor into Facebook and many other big tech companies. So he has an amazing track record of spotting new technologies that are going to be much bigger in the future. And just before we talk about this important Bitcoin chart and the Ethereum content later on, I'll just quickly give you another update on this Wyckoff accumulation. Basically right now, at the time of filming this video, Bitcoin is currently where it should be if we are still to play out this bigger Wyckoff accumulation pattern. And for any of the new viewers on the channel that want a deeper analysis about this Wyckoff accumulation, definitely check out my last 1 to 2 Bitcoin update videos that I posted over the past 1 to 2 days, because in those videos I explained a little bit more about this Wyckoff accumulation. But in this video, it's just going to be another quick update. And by the way, these grayed out candles just here should not be taken as an exact prediction. Instead, I'll be using them as more of a guideline. And by the way, I got those grayed out candles from previous price action that we saw in the middle of this year, which was the most recent Wyckoff accumulation that obviously played out very well. But just keep in mind, the full reversal back to the upside isn't necessarily confirmed until we start breaking out of this price range. So basically above the highs that we set in phase A and phase B, which right now we have not done, at least at the time of filming this video, but eventually it's only a matter of time before we do end up breaking those highs. And before getting into the Ethereum part of this video, we'll talk about this important Bitcoin chart. This is the daily time frame for Bitcoin, and there's been a lot of recent concern about a possible head and shoulders pattern forming right here. I first let you know about this possible head and shoulders pattern on the daily time frame around 3 weeks ago on the channel, but I can tell you right now that what we have just here is certainly not enough to be a right shoulder. Ideally, what we need to see for a head and shoulders pattern to complete is the left and the right shoulder being as similar as possible. And if you simply take a look at the left shoulder and compare it to the right shoulder, obviously there is no comparison there. As I let you know around 3 weeks ago, we would need to see Bitcoin bounce all the way back up towards the mid $50,000 price range. And then after seeing a much bigger bounce back to the upside, we would then need to come back down towards the neckline, which if you're looking at where the neckline is coming into play in around a month from now, for example, that is close to the current price of Bitcoin today. And also, if you're just measuring out the amount of time that it took Bitcoin to form this left shoulder, that was nearly 2 entire months. And so far on the right shoulder, we've been forming this for barely 2 weeks. So instead of a head and shoulders pattern, what this reminds me of was this Bitcoin price action that we saw towards the end of 2020. First of all, if you're looking at the left shoulder, that took around 2 months to form. And then we had a significant move to the upside where Bitcoin formed a rounded top. And then we came back down to potentially form a right shoulder. But you could see that the right shoulder was nowhere near as big as the left shoulder here. And so the Bitcoin price continued to remain above this ascending line of support. And obviously obviously you can see what happened next over the next few months. So once again, if you're looking in the immediate short term, it's still not impossible for us to see some bearish days here and there. But if you're looking at what's most likely to happen over the next few months leading into 2022, I am simply more bullish than I am bearish based on everything that is on the charts. And even outside of the Bitcoin charts, looking at other external factors, we've got a massive amount of Bitcoin that has been getting withdrawn from exchanges. We've also got the stock market punching through brand new all-time highs. And if I just flick back and forward between the 2020 chart and the 2021 chart, you can see how similar these two charts are. Now jumping into the Ethereum part of this video, we've got the Ethereum to US dollar charts on the 12-hour time frame here. And obviously what we have here is Ethereum forming a falling wedge pattern, which technically is a bullish pattern just because of the fact that around 70% of the time this type of pattern breaks to the upside and about 30% of the time it breaks to the downside. But the technical price target does not come into play until we confirm a break above resistance, which is right now coming in at just underneath 4,000 US dollars. And by the way, the technical price target to the upside, if we can see a confirmed break above resistance, is coming into play at around 4.7k. Other than that, of course, we saw the Ethereum RSI on the 12-hour time frame see a bounce from the bottom of this RSI band close to oversold territories recently. The last time Ethereum did that was back in the middle of November, right back here. And what came next for Ethereum? Well, in the shorter term, we saw a bounce back to the upside, which is basically what we're seeing right now at the time of filming this video, followed by some more sideways price action, and we held that low for another 2 weeks approximately. So obviously having this play out again is technically more of a bullish sign in the shorter term than a bearish sign, meaning that we could be due for a bit of a bounce here as we are already experiencing, or perhaps some more sideways consolidation. And the recent bounce that Ethereum is experiencing is exactly what we need for Ethereum to have a chance at closing above the 20-week SMA. We have still got another 2.5 days until we see the weekly candle close, and basically we need to see the weekly candle close above the 20-week simple moving average, currently coming in at around 3.8k. And if that's the case, if we see the weekly candle close above the moving average, that means we are still holding the line, which is obviously a good sign to see for the Ethereum bulls out there. But on the other hand, a confirmed break below the 20-week SMA would be a bearish signal for Ethereum, at least in the shorter term. And aside from that, we've also got this horizontal level of support on the Ethereum daily chart coming in at approximately 3,650, and this level of support's coming in close to the same price, which was previous resistance. Now taking a quick look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin here on the 6-hour time frame, this is that same head and shoulders pattern that we have seen a small break to the downside so far. And if you're looking at the most recent price action, just zooming in here a little bit more, you can see that Ethereum is getting rejected from this neckline at the time of filming this video, which is not really a good sign, because if Ethereum further plays out this rejection by seeing some candle closes in the red, then that would basically mean that this recent price action was a retest of the neckline, which is just another way to confirm a break to the downside for the head and shoulders pattern. And by the way, the technical price target for this pattern is coming in at around 0.07 Bitcoin per Ethereum, and this pattern gets invalidated if we either hit the price target down there or if we break above the neckline. And why is Ethereum pulling back against Bitcoin in the shorter term? Well, it's because of the Bitcoin dominance running into this major point of support and getting a short-term bounce here. This point of support is coming in at around 40% dominance, and basically if the Bitcoin dominance moves to the upside, that means Bitcoin is regaining market share away from the altcoins, meaning that the altcoins on average are going to be underperforming against Bitcoin, pulling back against Bitcoin. But then anytime we see the Bitcoin dominance in a major downtrend, that is also known as an altcoin season, because in those time periods, the altcoins on average are doing better than Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin dominance is definitely something that I am keeping an eye on to determine what the overall altcoin market is likely to do next. And if you want to get bonus content and stay up to date in the crypto markets at all times, make sure you follow me over on my Twitter, and the link to my Twitter is in the description down below and also in the pinned comment. If you enjoyed this video or got something valuable out of it, please make sure to leave a like down below, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these updates that I post every single day. Also, let me know if you prefer the earlier uploads compared to the later uploads that I might normally do, and just letting you know, this will be the only video today just because it's New Year's Eve. And so happy New Year for everyone watching, and as always, I'll see you all in the next video.